Hi, I'm Dr. Johnna B, occupational therapist, educator, and researcher, and this is OT Translated, translating occupational therapy for everyday education. Today we're talking about something that impacts many teens, especially those with ADHD, and that's impulse control. And we're not just going to talk about what impulsivity looks like. We're going to talk about what it feels like for teens, what's happening in the nervous system, and how we as OT practitioners can support teens through occupation-based, emotionally intelligent, and neurodiversity-affirming strategies. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a deeper understanding of ADHD and impulse control, a lens that goes far beyond behavior charts, and 3 OT-informed interventions that you can use in real life with the teens that you support. Let's get into it. When we say that a teen is impulsive, what we often see is blurting out in class, interrupting conversations, making risky decisions without thinking them through, acting first, and reflecting later, if at all. But here's the OT translation. Impulse control isn't a behavior issue. It's a regulation challenge. And in ADHD, it often stems from underdeveloped inhibition in the prefrontal cortex, delayed processing time between feeling and acting, and a nervous system in fast forward mode, especially in unfamiliar or emotionally charged situations. So instead of asking, how do I stop them from doing that? We ask, how do I help this teen build space between stimulus and response in a way that's actually accessible to their nervous system? That's where occupational therapy comes in. We don't manage behaviors. We support the sensory, emotional, and executive function systems that drive participation in daily life. Let's look at 3 interventions that do just that. Impulse control starts with awareness, but that awareness needs to live in the body, not just the brain. Many teens with ADHD don't notice the impulse until it's already been acted on. So instead of asking them to think before they act, we need to help them feel before they act. Here's an intervention that you can try. Body-based pause cue training. Have the teen identify physical signs and symptoms that a strong impulse is coming on. For example, a tight chest or restless hands, fast speech or a rapid heart rate, or feeling like they're going to explode with energy and emotion. Pair these signs and symptoms with physical grounding cues during practice, something that signals pause to the body. Pressing your feet against the floor, taking a deep breath and stretching your hands, holding a cold object like a water bottle, or clenching and releasing your fists under the table. Practice pairing these cues outside of crisis moments so that they become more automatic when intensity hits. This isn't about stopping the impulse, it's about building interoceptive pause points that allow the brain time to catch up with the body. As OT practitioners, this is where we use our knowledge of sensory processing and self-regulation to scaffold actions in a way that teens can actually access in the moment. Here's the truth. Many teens with ADHD don't lack knowledge of consequences. They struggle to access the knowledge when they're dysregulated or overstimulated. That's where we can introduce occupational if-then planning, a cognitive rehearsal technique that uses meaningful occupations to create built-in choice points. Here's how you can do it. Choose a high-risk or high-impulse context. Some examples may be arguing with a sibling, clicking buy now online, or blurting out in class discussions. Then ask the teen, if that moment comes up again, what are 2 things that you could do instead? Have them write or draw out this plan. If I want to interrupt, then I will write it down and wait 60 seconds to raise my hand. If I'm about to rage quit my game, then I will hit pause and get a snack first. This kind of planning needs to be occupation specific, not abstract rules like use self-control, but concrete scenarios that teens face in real life. Here's why it works. It builds metacognition, or how teens think about their own thinking. It gives teens a map to follow under stress, and it increases a sense of agency and future thinking. One last OT tip, make this visual, whether it's a poster, a card, or some kind of digital reminder, and then put it where teens will actually see it when they need it, in the high stress environment. Impulse control improves when teens have more than one way to respond to a situation, and when they've practiced using these options in safe, low-stakes environments. That's where role-playing with choice-making comes in. And here's how it can look. Choose a common scenario that tends to trigger impulsivity in your teen. Act it out with the team, but stop at the critical moment and say, okay, this is the moment where your brain usually goes into autopilot. What are 3 things that you could do right here? And then let them try all 3, even if some of them are silly, and reflect after each one. How did it feel in your body? What might happen next in real life if you actually did this? And which one helps you move closer to the outcome that you want? This isn't punishment or correction, it's occupational rehearsal. You're giving them the opportunity to build motor memory of alternative behaviors, to connect cause and effect, and to strengthen their ability to pause, reflect, and choose. This is a powerful OT strategy because it honors play, creativity, and embodied learning. And trust me, it can feel silly for both the therapist and for the teen, but if you get into it, it's an incredible tool that can help to move the needle for teen self-control. Teens with ADHD are not broken, and they're not bad at following rules. They're navigating nervous systems that move faster, feel bigger, and process things differently. Impulse control is not just about willpower. It's about regulation, rhythm, and rehearsal. In occupational therapy, we have the tools to support teens through body-based awareness, cognitive scaffolding, and safe, supported practice. When we move from correction to connection, we open up space for teens to trust themselves, not just to manage themselves. Let's recap the 3 OT-based strategies for supporting impulse control in teens with ADHD. The first is body-based pause cues. Help teens learn how impulses show up in their bodies and build space to respond, not react. The second is occupational if-then planning. Create specific scenario-based plans for common challenges that your teen encounters. And the third is choice-driven role play. Rehearse real-life situations with multiple options to build self-trust and flexibility. If you're an OT practitioner, an educator, or a caregiver, I hope this video reminds you that impulse control is a skill, not a character trait. And it's a skill that we can build together through meaningful, context-driven support. Let me know in the comments what's one strategy that helped your teen or client strengthen impulse control. And if you found this helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's walking alongside a teen in their ADHD journey. Thanks for translating occupational therapy for everyday education with me. I'll see you next time.